Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight in BC, a calm between storms to survey the damage.
It's very overwhelming.
Businesses destroyed, neighborhoods underwater, homes and family memories gone. The race to save what they can before the rain returns.
Oh, what a great guy, yeah!
Canada's vaccine rollout for kids is underway,
It's really a relief.
but it may be slower than for adults.
This is the moment for bolder climate action.
Familiar promises and priorities as Ottawa gets back to work. But can the government take action? At Issue is standing by.
Heading back to the office, it might look pretty different.
Hybrid work is here to stay.
How to ease re-entry. This is The National.
Across BC, so many are still waiting to return home and worried that the threat isn't over. Take Merritt, a town of 7,600, rendered temporarily unlivable by the floods, completely evacuated.
Tonight, some of those residents have come back, but the town isn't back to normal, not even close. Residents still need to boil water. So much has been damaged and scarred by the flood. And the forecast from the BC interior to the Fraser Valley and beyond shows an unnerving amount of rain on the way. The clock is ticking to build defenses, tally losses, and brace for the next storm.
Cameron McIntosh is in Abbotsford, where there's a lot of flood damage and now apprehension. Cam.
Hey, Andrew. Well, you know, today it did rain a little bit here in Abbotsford, but it's tomorrow and Thursday where there's real worry. They're calling for between 40 and 80 millimeters of rain by the weekend in an area where people have already had more than enough.
This mud silt is layered on everything, even in the
Where
building.
do you even start? Erin Parks has been asking herself that very question for a few days. How overwhelming is this?
Yeah, it is. It's very overwhelming, but we just have to stay positive.
Her garden and landscape business completely flooded out. That's next spring's inventory.
So here, you can tell the water was here.
And this is her office. So to be facing the prospect of even more water.
We're just gonna rebuild right now, and that's what we plan to. We hope to, but we got to clean up. So there's a lot of work.
So you really don't want more water?
No, we don't.
All through the flood zone, a sense of dread. In Merritt, where the water system is still contaminated, about 1,500 people were allowed back. Not everyone wanted to go.
We're just out because we have no water, we're gonna have nothing there.
Not far from Merritt, near Princeton, snow today. And a plea from the mayor for the military to come in.
I've put out a request for labor. We're trying to get people's homes cleaned out so that they don't freeze up.
While the forecast is not calling for as much rain as the first storm, it could still be enough to make things worse. With the help of the military, Abbotsford has spent the last several days shoring up its dikes.
As of today, the main dike repair is about 80% complete. We expect another 5 feet of height to be added to the dike prior to the weather event anticipated for Thursday.
Meanwhile, 36-year-old Brett Diedrichs has been identified as the fifth landslide victim. As some damaged highways reopen to essential traffic only, others will take months to repair. Limited rail service is set to resume. The province and Red Cross will now offer evacuees $2,000 in assistance, as the public safety minister warns.
The next 9 or 10 days could be quite challenging.
Under that big tree, that's a table of our plants.
Parks just wants to get through whatever is coming.
The buildings are still here, but we have a lot of work to do.
And in many ways, she's one of the fortunate people here. Through the Sumas Prairie behind me and into BC's interior, there are many, many people whose property is still underwater or inaccessible. Any more rain, Andrew, just won't help.
Okay, thanks very much, Cam. Well, the Canada Border Services Agency admits it may have wrongly ticketed BC residents for crossing back into the country from the U.S. without a PCR test.
I was given the $5,700 fine. I was given a COVID box to take home and do a test, and I was told that I would have to isolate.
But that is despite a broad exemption from the test requirement granted to BC residents this weekend so they could get supplies. The CBSA said the policy change took time to filter down to those enforcing rules, and wrongly issued tickets can be contested.
During emergencies like floods, many Canadians can rely on those loud, clear alerts to come over their phones, but not in most of BC. And David Common shows us for some of the province, that is no longer good enough after this year of disasters and drop everything evacuations.
Before these fertile fields flooded, the imminent failure of a surrounding dike was clear, but no one here got an alert on their phone. The province didn't send any either during this summer's destructive fires. In fact, BC is the only province to have never used Canada's Alert Ready system.
Every indication we have is that there are going to be more and more of these events. They're going to come when we don't expect them, and we need to have that tool ready to go when things like this happen.
And Mayor Roden got fed up waiting for the province to use the system others have for Amber Alerts, active shooters, anything where timely, urgent info is needed. So she signed her town onto an alert app. As a result, 800 citizens got warned about an approaching fire this spring.
We were able to pinpoint the neighborhood that was most affected and most at risk and let people know.
Other towns have done the same. Look at these alerts sent last week to residents in Merritt. Bailey Allen got one and got out.
You know, we have an app for everything these days. Why shouldn't we have an app for something that could save your life?
The BC government, though, had resisted, wanting to use the provincial alerts for tsunamis only, but plans to rethink that next spring. Time to work out any kinks to ensure only the right people get warnings. But Brian Frankel of the Union of BC Municipalities says all this should be all the proof needed.
Now's the time to start using this system as the tool to let the residents of British Columbia know what's coming their way.
Even if it's imperfect, direct-to-phone survival information can be a key tool.
It will lessen the likelihood that people are exposed to a terrible situation that they were last weekend.
Especially in a province facing a cascade of natural disasters and worries this could well happen again. David Common, CBC News, Sumas Prairie, BC.
We have more coverage of the BC floods coming up, including the story of a family returning to their home still underwater.
Oh, it's been so bad.
It's so hard what it looks like inside a little later in the program.
Now, on the other side of the country, heavy rain is also causing flooding, even forcing some from their homes. An area of Cape Breton is under a state of emergency. On the radar, you can see the large, slow-moving storm over Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador. And the worst may still be to come. Kayla Hounsell has a view from the ground.
It continued all day and all night. A long, slow soaker of a storm, also packing powerful winds. It began revealing its impacts by this afternoon. Downed trees, a roof ripped off, and this, a road washed out. A school on the other side with students like this 11-year-old trapped.
Some people were like kind of scared that we were going to have to sleep over. Some people were excited.
They eventually made it home on another road, but that one too was covered in water.
So nervous we were going to tip. It felt like the bus was kind of swaying, and everyone like on the bus was freaking out.
Nearby, roughly 70 people in this trailer park were forced to leave their homes.
It's most unfortunate, and I feel for the residents there. A lot of them have been there, two in particular, for over 50 years. So yeah, it's troublesome to see that kind of flooding.
And Port aux Basques in southwestern Newfoundland is bracing for a potential 400 millimeters over higher terrain over the next couple of days.
Oh, that's a lot of rain. We ain't seen that here before. That I know of, right?
If it falls over the mountains, it has to run off somewhere.
This is the gateway to the provinces. This is where the services come into the island, or our product comes into the island. Seeing any washouts there and cutting off the community and cutting off the rest of the province is worrisome.
By late tonight, more than 125 millimeters had already fallen on parts of Cape Breton.
I don't think we've passed actually the bad part of it, because the accumulation of so much rain, that can lead to longer term effects.
And Cape Breton will continue to see even more rain tonight and into tomorrow morning. Then it will taper off, but the system will come back for round two, bringing even more showers and potentially flurries on Thursday. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Sydney.
Province after province rolled out their plans today to get COVID vaccines into the arms of 5 to 11-year-olds. And in Ontario, some kids got their first shot. With the pediatric doses now in Canada, appointment bookings opened up today in 6 more provinces, including Quebec and Saskatchewan. As Deanna Sumanac-Johnson shows us, many parents and kids are all for it, but others need a little more time.
Oh, look, that's fantastic. Oh, what a great guy. Yeah.
One brave face after the next at this Toronto clinic today as Canada's COVID vaccine rollout for 5 to 11-year-olds got underway.
I really want to thank all the children that came here today. They really, truly were superheroes.
Nathan Maharaj's 9-year-old son will join their ranks in a week.
It's really a relief. It's a threshold we needed to cross to do things that we were comfortable doing before. We want to go to the aquarium. We want to go, to the zoo and be indoors and not worry.
He's in good company. A recent poll revealed just over 1/2 of Canadian parents for this new group plan to vaccinate them right away. More than a quarter say they're not sure or want to wait a bit first.
It seems that there's more hesitancy for this age group than for other groups. So I think it might be a slower start of the campaign, but that with time, more and more parents may, so the vaccine hesitancy may decrease.
Mike Romaniuk's daughter Harper turns 5 next year. He says to make the decision on whether to vaccinate her, he needs more information on just how much it would protect her against her already relatively low risk of getting seriously sick.
But I recognize on both sides there's a risk. Not doing it is a risk as well. The more data, the more confidence, I think, especially if it's tabulated or presented in a way that's easily understandable and comparable.
And experts say doctors and even peers should be patient.
Even though we have a complete confidence that it is going to be very safe, some people just really need to see that in order for it to be real.
He says uptake will likely rise as more young children get the vaccine without major side effects and as more parents see their own friends vaccinate their kids. Deanna Sumanac-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
In the Northwest Territories, pregnant women are raising concerns after they were told most will have to travel to Edmonton to deliver their babies.
They've known about this for a long time, and now they're doing it when people are 4 weeks away from delivery.
Officials say staffing challenges forced them to temporarily suspend birth services at Yellowknife's only hospital. Almost everyone planning to give birth between early December and late February will instead be transferred to Alberta for 3 to 5 weeks.
There are new calls tonight to change when some women in this country are screened for breast cancer, specifically women in their 40s. As Nicole Williams explains, the calls are rooted in a new look at an old study and devastating diagnoses some believe can be prevented.
Natalie Quadrins was once a professional snowboarder. Now in her 40s, stage 4 breast cancer has taken over her life.
My doctors, when I asked them for mammograms, they told me I didn't need one because I was under the age of 50. If statistics are correct, my lifespan is about 8.5 to 9 months left.
Right now, screening guidelines generally don't recommend yearly mammograms for women in their 40s. That's based in part on the results of the Canadian National Breast Screening Studies conducted in the 1980s. But now a new paper is calling the study's conclusions into question, saying participants weren't randomly assigned as they should have been.
I did not expect to find such clear evidence of what was going on.
The original authors stand by their work, which has been hailed by many as a gold standard around the world.
I think the study was conducted with a great deal of care, a great deal of attention to each step of the way.
But the new paper adds fuel to a decades-long argument from some medical professionals that younger women should get regular mammograms.
The most personal, challenging moments that I have in my practice are when I see a woman in her 40s who presents with an advanced breast cancer. And I hear over and over, my family physician told me I'm not allowed to screen you in your 40s.
The counter-argument is that increased screening could lead to more false positives and interventions like biopsies that aren't needed. Quadrin says earlier detection could have made all the difference for her.
I've made peace with it now, but it angers me. It really, really angers me. And I really hope that the government goes back and looks at this.
The National Task Force is defending its current guidelines, saying it thoroughly reviewed the evidence when creating them. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau launched his third term in office today. The new throne speech laid out his government's promises and priorities. But which opposition parties are prepared to support the plan and which aren't? Here's David Cochran.
It's the third speech from the throne in just 3 years, and as such, there was little in the way of new promises. There was, however, one notable difference. Governor General Mary Simon read sections of the speech in Inuktitut, a Canadian first. But while the language was different, the substance was largely the same.
Growing an economy that works for everyone, fighting climate change, moving forward on a path of reconciliation.
The 32-minute speech was a summary of Liberal election promises on childcare, affordable housing, finishing the battle against COVID, and aggressive climate policy, backstopped by a promise to help British Columbia rebuild from devastating floods.
The government will continue to be there for the people of British Columbia.
With the clear exception of the help for British Columbia, it's an agenda the Conservatives won't support.
What we didn't hear was a plan for the economy, a plan to tackle the cost of living crisis.
An agenda the NDP might support.
We want to make it clear to the Liberals, as we've said in the past, as I've said, don't take our support for granted.
And an agenda the Bloc Québécois says isn't worth trying to bring down the government.
Supporting might not be the best word. We will live with this empty piece of paper, gently read in 3 languages.
The Bloc won't just live with one of the government's first major pieces of legislation, as Blanchette says they will support a bill to scale back COVID-19 benefits now that vaccinations are rising and more of the economy is reopening. Legislation that could be tabled as soon as this week. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
So, no shortage of promises in politics for At Issue. To unpack, Rosie's standing by with Chantal, Andrew, and Althea. Still ahead.
There is growing concern tonight that Russia could soon attack Ukraine. Next, an escalation at the border and a war of words between world powers.
In British Columbia, an emotional homecoming amidst the floods. A family's first glimpse at their house still underwater.
The money, we can make it no problem, right? But our memories, the pictures, we can't take it back.
So good to see you back in the office.
And later, gearing up for a return to the workplace.
People need time to become comfortable working from an office again.
The perks being offered to lure you back to the office. We're back in 2. Welcome back. A Canadian woman who was held in an ISIS detention camp is back in Canada and reunited with her daughter. CBC News has agreed not to identify the woman or her daughter because of safety concerns.
Oh, baby. She got so bad.
The two had been separated since last March when the then 4-year-old was released from a detention camp in northeast Syria for people with alleged ties to ISIS. The woman's lawyer says she has not been charged with a crime. And the driver who plowed into a Wisconsin Christmas parade has been charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Additional charges are also expected following news that a child who was injured in Sunday's incident has died, bringing the total death toll to 6. And a burned-out shell of a bus is all that's left following a crash that killed 45 people in Bulgaria, 12 of them children. Officials say only 7 on board escaped from the burning vehicle after it ripped through a guardrail on a highway. Almost all of those who died are said to be tourists from neighboring North Macedonia.
Tensions on the Russia-Ukrainian border are intensifying. Ukraine says Russia-backed forces held military drills inside their country. And now U.S. officials warn that Russia could be planning an attack. Briar Stewart reports from Moscow.
Ukrainian soldiers moved through the trenches in the Donetsk region, taking up positions just a few hundred meters from Russian-backed separatists. They can start an offensive any time, says this soldier. This is one of the front lines in a multi-year conflict now threatening to erupt, according to U.S. and Ukrainian officials. The U.S. has warned that Russia is amassing troops and military equipment not far from Ukraine's border, as seen in these satellite photos. There are reports from Ukraine that in the new year, an attack could be launched on multiple fronts.
We do recognize that the current build-up is atypical.
This weekend, the country's deputy defense minister was asked at a security forum in Halifax how this military activity differs from last spring, when Russian troops were deployed to border areas and then withdrawn.
And if we take into account the complete picture of political dialogue with Russia, in our attempt to do a peacemaking process, we see definitely defiance.
While Russia has denied planning an attack, President Putin said the West was not taking its warnings around red lines seriously. The red line, the expansion of NATO and NATO infrastructure into Ukraine. On Russian television, the message was ramped up further. A broadcaster boasted that if the West didn't heed Russia's words, then it could knock out all of its GPS satellites, blinding its military forces. This Russian military analyst says while an invasion isn't imminent, the security situation is tense.
Because if you don't solve it by political means and diplomatic means, there always is the military option.
Not far from Donetsk, people living in this village under Ukrainian control say they aren't sure what to make of the potential escalation. We don't know what to expect, one woman said, but we're scared for our children. After nearly 8 years of conflict, she says it's time to talk about a peaceful solution and not about the potential for more fighting. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Moscow.
Ahead on the National, a speech by the British Prime Minister takes a bit of an unexpected turn. So that is when he decided to get a little creative. You'll see.
But first, Rosie's here with a special at issue.
Hey, Andrew, tonight we've got more reaction, of course, to the speech from the throne.
Parliamentarians never before has so much depended on your ability to deliver results for Canada.
What was the government trying to signal and what the political response tells us about the road ahead? Chantal, Andrew, and Althea will join us right after this.
Parliamentarians never before has so much depended on your ability to deliver results for Canada. That is what people expect and need from you. In relation to ending this pandemic, their priorities for this 44th Parliament are clear. A more resilient economy and a cleaner and healthier future for all of our kids.
That's Governor General Mary Simon reading the throne speech for the first time for her, laying out the government's promises and priorities. So what was the overarching message out of that speech? Does any of it signal a willingness for the parties to work together? It's Tuesday. Doesn't matter. I'm here with that issue. Chantal Hébert, Andrew Coyne, and Althea Raj. Good to see everyone. Okay, let's just start with your expectations of the throne speech. Mine are always kind of low because it's an overarching message. But Althea, did the government succeed in delivering what that message was and your thoughts on what you think it was?
Well, I too didn't really have any expectations for the throne speech. Frankly, we just had an election campaign. It would have been bizarre if the throne speech did not match that platform. The throne speech from last year, it was only just a year ago that they prorogued, very similar to the throne speech we heard today. Some of the similar themes that we heard 2 years ago, frankly, in the 2019 throne speech. What did they need to do? Well, what I expected them to do, which was not in the throne speech, probably more interesting, is any olive branch for the opposition parties. There was nothing specifically that the NDP could latch onto, and that's probably why NDP leader Jagmeet Singh reacted the way he did. There were a few overtures actually to the Conservatives, but they wanted none of it. And there was nothing specifically for the Bloc, but there was also nothing that the Bloc could really oppose. So in the end, I would say it was kind of like a no surprise throne speech, an inoffensive throne speech, and therefore one that will carry the day and see them live until next week.
Yeah,
or in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, and certainly the Bloc says, yeah, it's not great, but we'll vote for it. There's no reason why we would vote against it. Chantal, your thoughts?
I'll start with an aside. In one part of the country, people were watching to see how the Governor General's French would play out. In other parts of the country, it was a historic moment to hear Inuktitut spoken in a throne speech in the House of Commons. So on the French, yes, it's work in progress, but I found that Mary Simon was very brave to have as much French in the throne speech and to take it on. So I'll give her points for courage. The throne speech overall, it's the third in 3 years. It's happened before, 3 throne speeches from the same party in 3 years, but you could not have expected any surprises. But I find that if you go back to 2015, you'd probably find that with every throne speech it becomes less sunny because the circumstances are becoming more difficult.
Yeah, and that is true. We've seen that crises have gotten in the way of the government's vision. Andrew, your thoughts on what you heard today?
Rosie, I think the line that stood out for me, I want to read it because I want to make sure I get it right. We will always stand up for a brighter future for all. You know, most throne speeches are full of bromides and not a lot of substance, but there's usually a hint here, a code word there, some indication of something new, something bubbling under. This is probably the emptiest throne speech I can recall. You know, it's remarkable. They said that they call it the building a resilient economy, and there's so little in this about the economy. You can look through this and there's not a mention of growth, there's not a mention of productivity, there's not a mention, needless to say, of deficits or debt or taxes. This is a kind of an inflection moment in the economy. You know, we have a very different economy now than we've had for the last 20 or 30 years, with inflation now bubbling up to 5% or so. That's not necessarily the government's fault, but it's certainly the problem the government has to deal with and has to be responsible for, because we don't want to see inflation get embedded in people's expectations and start to become very difficult to get back out of the system. And beyond that, we have this continuing problem of really slow growth in this economy when we need to have much faster growth if we're going to pay for our social programs. So these are huge problems, and the economy in general just doesn't seem to rate as a real priority for this government. What you saw more of in this was the odd thing to kind of troll the Conservatives, you know, conversion therapy or, you know, I forget the other two, but this is, I didn't think it really lived up to the moment. I know we've had 3 throne speeches in the last 3 years, but after, you know, the most important election since 1945, as we were told, I would have thought they'd have a little more mind than this.
To be fair, they did point to daycare as a way to get the economy to grow. That's the only line that I remember around growth. Yeah.
They took a bunch of things they were going to do anyway. There were policies that are of general application, and then said, "Oh, and this is also good for the economy."
Okay, Chantal, yeah.
Chantal, yes. But it is only a throne speech, and most of them are not memorable. It is also a throne speech delivered on November 23, so low expectations of anything big happening between now and Christmas. Sure. I think they're keeping their powder dry on the economy for the budget, and I happen to feel that it's probably a good bet if you're a minority government. The real hard bargaining is not going to be happening over the throne speech. It's basically a repeat of what you've already said, so I'm not particularly worried that it wasn't a budget speech.
Okay, but to Andrew's point, and because we are at a sort of a pivot moment for lots of reasons in the country, and that did allow Erin O'Toole to go hard at the Liberals around inflation and some of the things that he thought should have been in the speech. Here's what he said.
The reality facing Canadian families seems to be something that the Liberal government are all too happy to blissfully ignore. The Liberal government's spending is fueling the inflation crisis. The government's ideology is fueling division, and this government's platitudes are becoming barriers to real action.
So we could have a long conversation about what is actually fueling inflation beyond just the government spending, but the political strategy behind that argument. Althea, I'll start with you on this. It's interesting because it is something people are talking about around in their kitchens. You know, the cost of gas, the cost of food, all that kind of stuff.
The cost of housing, yes, affordability is a huge issue. Inflation is a big issue. You see it every time you go to the grocery store. And the challenge for the Conservatives is to tie that to the Liberals, to make it not a supply chain issue, not a global issue that our allies are also experiencing, but one that you blame squarely on the government. And you saw that this morning, not just with Erin O'Toole, but with Pierre Poilievre, the finance critic, going out and calling this now a Liberal inflation tax. But the question becomes, when you ask them, well, how would you address it?
Yes.
Then the Conservatives start talking about vague things like, well, we would cut some supports. Well, which one? Well, there's no specificity on that because they don't want to annoy anybody. So that is a challenge for them. I think one of the things that brought home to me why the Liberal Party has been so successful in our history was part of Erin O'Toole's comments after the speech was he came out and he said that, you know, the Liberal government was not doing enough to support oil and gas development in this country. Well, he just spoken after the Bloc leader came out and said, well, the Liberal government was not doing enough to cap oil and gas development in this country. I mean, this perfect Goldilocks position explains why the Liberals get elected over and over and over again.
Okay, Andrew, you brought up inflation there. What do you make of the way the Conservatives and Erin O'Toole are using it here?
Well, I agree with Althea that it's a simplistic analysis simply to say, oh, it's the government's fault. You know, inflation is up around the world. But it's also the government's problem that going forward, they have to make sure that inflation doesn't stay with us. I think that's also a political priority. Inflation, people don't like inflation. But economically, it's the surest way to wreck an economy. So they've got to come to grips with it. And I agree with Chantal that, you know, a throne speech is not a budget, but even in its budgets, this government really doesn't place a lot of focus on economic growth, on the long-term economic prospects of the country. And this is a severe challenge for us with an aging population. And they seem to be much more focused, and we saw some references to it in the throne speech here, on redistributing amongst the various groups in society rather than trying to grow the pie for everybody.
Chantal.
If I had $1 for every time a throne speech did not actually live up to what ended up being the government priorities, I would probably be rich at this point.
Well, you might not be here.
Oh, I'd be living, I don't know, in some tax haven, including, you know, the throne speech from 2019 after the last election, which actually makes for interesting read because the pandemic was not in the picture.
Yeah.
I don't think the Liberals really care about anything that the Conservatives are saying at this point. I'm not saying that will last forever, but I think it's a safe bet that between now and the budget, they are happy enough to let Erin O'Toole and others try to reframe the question around inflation. The budget will be another proposition. I think everyone knows that.
Yeah. And inflation may not be the same concern by the time the budget comes around. Yeah. Sorry, Althea, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, or the fiscal update, which you know could come in December if they decide to go through with what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Fiscal update just before Christmas. Yeah, right. Lots of people will be paying a lot of attention.
I got to leave it there, everybody, but you'll be back on Thursday. Thank you for being here earlier and again tonight, Chantal, Andrew, and Althea. And with that, I'll send it back to Adrian and Andrew in Toronto.
You bet. And when we come back, returning to a neighborhood underwater.
Money, we can make it with our memories, the pictures, we can't.
We travel back with a family in British Columbia as they survey the damage and start to pick up the pieces. Welcome back. For many in British Columbia forced to flee their homes, there is frustration, of course, and an anxious determination to find out what's left. Tonight, we introduce you to a family that runs a blueberry farm in Abbotsford. Their property is mainly underwater now. Still, they made the difficult, emotional journey home, and Katie Nicholson was there.
Between trees and half-submerged homes, Kevin Estrada threads his boat through the Sumas Flats.
Well, the risks are huge, right? I mean, we've never dealt with this where, you could be driving and hit a car that's underneath, railings on bridge, the gas and diesel and fertilizer that's in this ground. Lots of debris, and you get that sucked up in a jet pump and you're done.
It's a risk he's willing to take to help the people who live here.
Let's go right onto the big deck there. Put your foot there.
Like Amrit and Gershon Greywall, who haven't seen their homes since the floodwaters forced them out. They glide across the muddy lake that has engulfed the farmland. Amrit's cousin lives here. He shows him the damage in real time. And then, there it is, their house. Only one story of it visible.
I don't know, it's stuck on something.
Yeah, it's stuck in something, but it's open, I'm sure.
Their main entrance is underwater. The Greywalls are forced to break into their own home.
I'll get the ladder, just wait, okay?
The first glimpse inside,
It's been so bad.
soul-crushing. "25 years after moving from India, everything she worked for under several feet of water.
The money, we can make it, no problem, right? We can make it again.
Yeah.
But our memories, the pictures, we can't take it back.
It's like making something in a preschool for very cute things, like Happy Mother's Day, Mom, I love you, Mom, like that stuff, right? Everything is done and adopted. We hope so everything's back to normal soon.
The bottom part, I got.
Today, normal feels a long way away. Waiting down the stairs, Amrit spots an unwelcome guest, a small snake. Perhaps looking for higher ground. Amrit's cousin swiftly scoops it up and moves it outside. There is work to do, valuables to be packed, and food to be parceled up before it spoils. Outside, a rough estimate of how much they've lost.
That's my tow truck. This truck is for moving the blueberries.
You should probably head back and call you.
Everything they can salvage now in garbage bags. They push off, not sure when they'll see their home again, or what will be left of it when the waters recede. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Abbotsford.
Now, just to give you a scale of the devastation in that very area you just saw, here are some satellite images showing the before and the after the rainfall. You can see more images like this on our website, cbcnews.ca.
Well, still to come on The National, preparing for a return to the office.
People need time to become comfortable working from an office again.
We'll look at what the new workplace could look like and how some employers are offering perks to get you back in the door.
I'm Angela Starrett. Tomorrow on CBC's Daily News podcast, Front Burner, the Fifth Estate's Mark Kelly breaks down his latest investigation into We Charity and the intense pushback he faced along the way. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, with strong vaccination rates and improved COVID safety protocols, there is a growing push to bring Canadian workers back to the office. Some big companies are aiming for mid-January, but getting ready for that is a slow and careful process, and not everybody's keen to see their old desks again. Nisha Patel shows us the preparations already underway.
Hey, so good to see you back in the office.
Megan Smith can greet coworkers face-to-face now instead of virtually. The head of Human Resources is managing the return to office plans for software giant SAP in Vancouver.
Just As we needed time to become comfortable with working from home, people need time to become comfortable working from an office again.
Smith says the majority of their employees want a hybrid work model. So the company will give them the flexibility of working from home, along with some face time at the office.
If you're a new employee or you're earlier in your career, it's really important to have role modeling, and a lot of that behavior happens through in-person interaction.
Most offices that are reopening have increased hygiene measures, plus capacity limits and rules around mask wearing. Vancouver tech startup Hootsuite is also starting to bring employees back in a hybrid way.
It isn't a top-down approach where employers are saying you must come in or you must work from home.
Hootsuite downsized and redesigned its offices to prepare for a post-pandemic world, with some perks to draw office workers back.
We've done things like install bike and treadmill desks, which are really cool. We have a wellness room for nursing mothers or for employees who meditate or pray.
Experts say in this tight labor market, employers will need those kinds of perks and continued flexibility to keep staff.
What this experiment has really taught us is that there are a relatively large number of jobs that really can be done in a more flexible way.
Back at SAP, Smith says flexibility may be the new normal.
We have much more cultural acceptance now of working remote, and my feeling is hybrid work is here to stay.
So for some workers, heading to the office 5 days a week may never happen again. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
When we come back, the moment the British Prime Minister's speech took a bit of a turn. Okay, so that's not all that happened. It's right after the break.
I can tell you as a former motoring correspondent, EVs may not burble like sucking doves, and they may not have that rum, rum, rah, rah that you love, but they have so much torque.
See, here's the thing about British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and car enthusiast, by the way. He is known for his colorful turns of phrase, sometimes his bizarre ad-libs. But after a recent speech went totally off the road, even by Bojo standards, Britons are scratching their heads. Johnson, who has taken some heat over his job performance, recently spoke to British industry leaders about his new green agenda. Why his face went red is our moment.
With fantastic broadband.
Okay, a little awkward. It's happened to the best of us, but surely he gets it back right around here. No.
Forgive me.
Anyway, Johnson did recover, only to go on at length about British cartoon sensation Peppa Pig and its lessons for British innovation, maybe?
I don't know if you've been to Peppa Pig World. Hands up anyone who's been to Peppa Pig World.
Quick sidebar, Peppa Pig World is a Peppa-themed amusement park. Johnson recently took his son there. Anyway, carry on, sir.
A pig that looks like a hairdryer. Or possibly a sort of Picasso-like hairdryer. A pig that was rejected by the BBC would now be exported to 180 countries. I think that is pure genius, don't you, Peppa Pig? And no government in the world, no Whitehall civil servant would conceivably have come up with Peppa.
Johnson may have left the British press a bit gobsmacked, but as far as he's concerned, he nailed it.
I think that people got the vast majority of the points I wanted to make, and I thought it went over well.
So listen, I mean, we both speak publicly, professionally, for a living, and we even understand those moments, you know, the terrifying moments where your mind can go blank. That was still pretty unusual, though.
Oh, yeah, no, it's unusual, yes, but he's interesting. The question he was asked for that last answer was, are you okay? Which is also a question that was put to number 10 Downing Street. The question was, is he unwell? And the answer was, no, he's fine. That is a national for November 23rd. Good night.
Good night.